Welcome to the Art of Money podcast with Art McPherson.
And thanks for checking out the Art of Money podcast. My name is Mark Owens alongside Art McPherson and Luke McCarty. All the information for the McPherson Financial Group, you can find it at theartofmoneyradio.com.
Go, go, go.
50 Cent, you know 50 Cent, right? Curtis Jackson?
I know 50.
Yeah, you know y'all are tight. Does he know that? Well, anyway, he told MSNBC that he's thinking about moving away from New York to Texas because of President Biden's tax plans combined with New York's high tax rate. Well, it's financially crippling him.
When you just tell an individual that you're going to not keep 62% of your earnings because you live in this area, I don't like New York City that much. I don't like the people enough to stay. I'm going to Texas. I got me a cowboy hat, everything. I'm a Texan for now.
Got to appreciate his honesty.
Well, I mean, when you look at that, you know exactly what he said. For him, they'll take 62% of his earnings. And that is pretty amazing that our government thinks they are, that important that they can take more than half of your income and pull it away from you because they're going to spend that money better than you would. I don't agree with that. I think our government does a very poor job with our money, and they do a very poor job with our resources. Just anything you look at that they tend to touch, a.k.a. the most current thing that they took over is our healthcare system. It's not any better. It's not any better. It's worse by far.
Yeah.
With 50 Cent thinking about leaving New York, right? It's kind of like Elon Musk leaving California. Over this last week, he actually put out a poll on his Twitter account. Should he sell so much, shares of Tesla? Because now he's living in Texas and he'll save 13%. And he's talking billions. He's going to save potentially billions of dollars by not living in California. Now, I'm sure he probably still has a house there. I know he did some weird things and sold everything and had a midlife crisis. But it's just crazy when you put those big of numbers on it.
Yeah.
I mean, 13% is a lot to us, but start talking billions.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just makes financial sense now that he's a Texan. It doesn't make financial sense when you're a Californian, but that's why the whole country is reevaluating their situation. And it's not just the one that we're talking about today. We've had many, many people, whether it's small business owners all the way through, moving to Florida, doing the same thing that we've heard about people going to Texas because we are a non-state tax state. And, when you're in retirement, when you don't have to have a state tax on top of that income tax, it makes a big, big difference, especially for people like 50 Cent.
Out of curiosity, what percentage have you seen of new clients that come in from New York, California, Illinois, big high tax states?
It's the percentage is up quite a bit this year. Just if you look at our housing, we have several people that are clients of ours that sell housing, and they are record numbers. They can literally sell more houses if they could, but we just can't build them fast enough. So right now where Luke lives, you have to put your name in a hat for a lottery is what they call it. There's 50 people a week putting their names in a hat for 10 lots that are available.
No
so that's
way.
the demand. And that's just an opportunity to try to buy the dirt. Then if you get the opportunity to buy the dirt, then you go through the process of the house, but you can't even find a house.
Wow.
Yeah, you cannot find a house. And if you do find the house, build the pool with the house.
That's a Luke tip. Luke, is your pool done yet?
Don't do it later either. You won't do it. Your wife won't let you do it. You won't be able to afford it, or they won't finish it.
So that would be no, it's not done.
Wrap it in the 30-year loan. No, my pool is not done.
So my guess is it's probably going to be done on the coldest day of the year for us, which will be February.
Yeah, they want me to test out my pool heater on the coldest day. And keep it on until it gets to a warm enough level and $400 bill. I don't know. I haven't had a pool before. You guys tell me.
Yeah, it'll be something like that. Yes.
Expensive,
Yeah, it's going to be expensive. Yeah. To raise it 30 degrees will take you probably about a week.
Ouch.
Let's be honest. The kids will be moved out of the house by the time you get this pool in, so it really doesn't matter.
That's brutal.
I have my name in the lottery for another house. I can build the house and a pool faster.
Yeah, no kidding. Poor Luke.
Poor Luke.
That's all right. I'm in the same boat. I mean,
okay.
I'm still waiting for a permit for my garage. We started this a year ago. So, I mean, he's way ahead of me. I give him a hard time, but we're trying to build a garage in the front yard that I had for all my motorcycles and old cars. And my goodness.
I'm still waiting on one part for my golf cart. I've been waiting on a golf cart for 6 months now. One part I can't get.
You need a new golf cart then.
Hey, look,
sell yours and go get a new one.
What's going to happen? Luke's pool or my golf cart? What's coming first?
A or
Who
B?
knows?
C.
None of the above. We were talking about housing issues a couple of seconds ago, and for most of us, the single biggest purchase we're ever going to make is our house, and many of us are counting on it to help fund our retirement. But Art, Luke, there was a University of Arizona study that predicted that we're going to have a harder time selling our homes when the market stabilizes because there might not be enough younger people who can afford these nice houses. So is it a mistake to think of our home as a part of our nest egg?
Usually it's not really a part of the nest egg for when Luke and I are doing discussions. It is something you want to have paid off, but really the biggest part of your home is having that paid off, hitting retirement mode and making sure that you're able to accomplish that. And it's kind of what we call money in the dirt. Unless you sell it, it's not really going to be a part of the portfolio for investing. And if you sell it, are you able to buy something else that's more affordable in where you want to be? So sometimes it's not necessarily cheaper to sell your home and move to someplace else like a condo, because then you have your association dues and condo fees and things like that. So sometimes I would say 85% of the time, our clients typically stay in their home. They just want to make sure it's paid off.
Do you recommend maybe downsizing? You know, if you got this big house and all the kids are out of the house, do you recommend downsizing, or as long as it's paid off, you stay there, you be comfortable?
It depends. If it's paid off, that's more of a personal decision. If it's paid off and your budget is fine and you still like the big house and want to keep it, well, then you should keep it, right? But if you have a budget issue of keeping things up, your taxes, the maintenance, and you want to downsize, then that's in your plan as well. So it really just depends on the individual. But having a house paid off is great for cash flow, right? It lowers your expenses, but it doesn't create any income for you unless you do the refinance route or a HELOC or take money out of it. Kind of like Art was saying, you have money in the dirt. So it's definitely a positive to have a house paid off. Mm-hmm. Not if you need income in retirement, right? It'll help the expense side, but it's not generating income for you like an investment.
And we have clients that are in their 80s. I have an 80-year-old, a little single widow, and she rides her little Husqvarna on her 6 acres, and she cuts her own grass still at 84. But, when you have 6 acres, 10 acres, 12 acres, 15 acres, it's hard as you get older to maintain that. So sometimes people downsize because of those issues.
Right.
But not always does it cost less. A lot of times today, if you were to sell a house and try to move into something different, it can be a complicated issue right now because everything is so high.
You were talking about one of your clients, a sweet little widow. Well, there was a story in Kiplinger about a widower who listed his children as beneficiaries of his 401k. But when he died, there was a long, bitter court battle that ensued between the kids and the man's second wife, and she wound up winning the court battle. So is this why, Art and Luke, is this why you're always telling us how important it is to get that estate plan?
Absolutely. There's no reason to leave it to chance. You can specify. So in that situation, it was probably the second wife needed the assets to live. So there was an agreement between dad and the second wife that, hey, you're going to be able to have the house and the home, and then when you pass, it'll go to the kids and the grandkids. However, the kids and the grandkids didn't know her very well. Maybe they didn't like her. All of a sudden, they're like, why are we not getting our inheritance? This doesn't seem right. But you can specify as a parent in that situation to make sure that it'll operate exactly that way, where she can stay in the house, have retirement income, and then all of the beneficiaries, once she passes, goes to the kids and the grandkids. You can keep it written down in a purely clear way so that you can avoid all the arguing that went on in this scenario.
Yeah, we see too many scenarios like this just in the industry that we're in. But a big public one is Prince. So the artist Prince, right? He passed away. He did not have a will, did not have a trust, didn't have beneficiaries. It's in probate. Siblings were fighting. Now one of the siblings recently passed away. Another sibling took a buyout from another legal firm to get some money. Mm-hmm. Talk about a headache. Talk about a disaster. So this story here is, it's relatable to Prince. Prince is kind of the extreme, right? We're not all Prince, even though in our radio room, right? We
thinks he is.
Feel pretty.
Sings like he is, dances like he is.
All right.
Yes, dances for sure. So just make sure you have a plan, right? You can specify, like Art was saying, of what goes where and why, and just button it up so there's no issues after your passing.
Just so it's simple.
Thanks for listening. Want more from Art McPherson of McPherson Financial Group? Find us online at artofmoneyradio.com.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Securities offered through World Equity Group, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Investment advisory services offered through ProStatus Group, LLC. McPherson Financial Group and ProStatus Group, LLC are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by World Equity Group, Inc. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Investment financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. Art McPherson is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Arthur McPherson, Florida Insurance License number A174725.
Today's show has been a work of art.